Hello, hello, hello. How are we doing, guys? Top Table Steve here.
And Top Table J, and welcome to episode 36 of Top Table Live.
It
Has
feels like it's
Steve
been
unmuted
forever.
us? Has Steve unmuted us? Is the age-old question, which I'm sure
Of
won't put Tara
course,
be upset.
of course, I've unmuted us. Let me. Are you dealing with Facebook messages and I'll deal with thingy messages? Is that how we're doing it?
You deal with Facebook. Oh, I haven't got that chat up. I'll have to do that.
See, I'm doing. I'm only
Uh,
like holding the fort down at this end. Let me
I'll
get.
listen to him. I've actually just pulled the YouTube chat.
Oh, are you? Oh,
I'll let
apologies.
you deal with Facebook tonight, and I'll take YouTube. But just bear with me while I get the right chat window up.
Okay.
I've got to remember how
Um,
you did it.
how is everyone tonight anyway? It's very, very good to be back. I feel like I've not streamed for ages, which is very weird.
Yeah, that
Um,
is weird for you, to be
it is
honest.
weird for me. I went crazy for a few weeks. But yeah, I don't know where do I get the Facebook chat. Anyway, how are you all doing? Let us know if you're in. Just give us a thumbs up, give us a shout, say hi so we know who's in. It'd be great to hear from you. I do feel like it's been forever since I've streamed, which is odd for me because I was streaming every other night at one stage.
Been too
Uh,
long, hasn't it, mate? It's yeah, you've gone from hammering every stream possible in the world to kind of slowing down a bit, but it does feel like longer than 2 weeks ago we did the last top table live, to be honest.
yeah, well, this is what happens. You see, when I'm sort of semi back to work, I'm kind of back to work part time, so my time has become less. How can I put it? Well, I've had less time to hobby, less time to fiddle about with YouTube. But what I have done is started cooking loads. Which,
You know what? I'd never have guessed it, mate. It's not like you've been posting about it 90 a day. That's a brand new
do you know
revelation,
what?
if you ask me.
It's funny because I think was it at the top table arms Saturday night thing.
Yeah,
We were jokingly say, yeah, I'm gonna do an I can you can cook, and I come away from it. And I thought, do you know what? Why not? Why not? I'm cooking and cooking anyway. I'm cooking loads anyway. I may as well document it, and I'm gonna come to a point where I run out of stuff that I want to cook. Do you know what I mean?
for those
So
people who might have been hid under a rock for a week, why don't you tell us about you can, I can cook, or whatever it is? I
no,
can, you can.
no, let's not. Let's come to it
You
later.
want to bang that drum, mate? No.
We'll come to it later. We'll deal with it later. No doubt we'll run out of stuff to say because there's been nothing going on in the gaming world. So
Uh, a few minutes, but no, that is fair. Well, welcome all. Welcome to episode 36. It's good to have you in. We'll chat about the top table arms later as well because that was a good laugh.
that was belting that, yeah.
If you want to start saying, letting everyone know who's in, Steve, I will. I can't see the comments until the point that I've posted hello all in the YouTube chat. So
Oh, you can't
you
see
start.
before that.
Yes. So
All right, okay.
I'll
So I'll
let
start.
you
Yeah,
crack.
I'll start from the top. Have a little bit of a roll call. If you've not said hello in the chat, just say hello. Let us know you're in. There's just 24 in. It looks like we've got watching. So welcome everybody on
Hello.
this rainy Wednesday evening. So
Mm.
first off the mark was Alex Hart. He's in. Rob Camp's in. Michael Brayer's in. Tanya's in.
Nice.
Luke Churches is in. The Glindog's in. He's been doing a bit of cooking with me on over on
I
the other Facebook group.
saw.
Yeah.
I
He's not
saw.
no flies on him. Mateo's in. Frederick's in. Dean's in. Also, Dean's been doing a bit. Bruno's in. Dries is in. We've got SBG Jason's in. He says hello. Sean's
Nice.
in. Yeah, and then we've got Dwelling Grudgebane's in. He says hello.
Oh, mate.
Hello,
Is
Dwelling.
that not the best name in
That's
the world?
that's the best name in the world. And Green Tree's come in. How you doing, Green Tree? An absolute pleasure as always to have you. And that's everyone who said hello up to now. In the
Thank you.
Facebook, I can see Tees de Jong has joined. Jay Finnegan's joined. Don't want him in. Mr. James Wilson's in. So welcome, people. Um, but yeah, it's a rainy Wednesday evening here in Manchester. I don't know where you guys are in the world. But it's been a bit cooler today, which has been good to me because my hay fever really kicked in yesterday, and
Yeah.
I was
Oh, yeah,
suffering
you
really
said you
bad.
were struggling with it. We were supposed to have a bit of a studio planning session, which I won't say much more about, and you got all poorly in the end, didn't you?
Yeah, it's like always my hay fever always kicks in like really bad in the evening. I think like I don't know whether the pollen starts to settle back down after it's been I don't know how it works, but it's always bad in the evening. And last night was a shocker. My nose was running, my eyes were running. It was just it was grim. But yeah, what hobby wise have you been up to out, Jay?
Yeah, well, why don't we start with what we've both been up to hobby wise in the last 2 weeks? Everyone in the chat, you have to let us know what you've been doing hobby wise as well. So throw it in the chat. Give us, this is your stream. We can talk about absolutely anything. So let us know any questions you want to throw at me and Steve or anything like that. And we can have a catch up. Hobby wise, what have I been doing? So, well, let's start from just after the last Top Table Live. We did the Top Table Arms. Let's chat about that for a minute because that was fun. So
Yeah,
on Saturday night, we decided we were chatting a lot about how much we missed kind of just not so much gaming, but getting together with everyone having a drink. So we kind
socializing,
of,
just
yeah, we
socializing.
opened our virtual pub, didn't we, mate?
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
How good is
It was a
that?
lot better and a lot busier than I thought it was going to be.
It
I,
was. I was absolutely bladdered by the end of it.
I,
It
I was
was.
I was a
We
bit
finished.
drunk. I was a bit
We
drunk.
ended up streaming for 5 hours, and we made up daft little games of people getting rounds in and asking questions, and everyone was just having a laugh, weren't they? It was class. There was a couple of people who were probably a bit too drunk, but it was really nice. So
Speaking, it's mentioning no names, but he's just popped into the Facebook chat.
it rhymes with Lame's Bill Ray. That's all I'm going to say. But no, we had a good laugh, and we were chatting a lot about hobby and a lot about personal life and nonsense. And we're going to have to do it again, and we'll get Ben involved because
Mm,
it was a good laugh. And I went to bed very drunk and had a
yeah,
hangover the next day. It was good fun. But hobby wise, mate, I've painted a full AOS army,
yeah,
like
you
I
have.
do.
Yeah,
Painted a Osteout Bone Reaper army for Age of Sigmar, so that is done. I've not based it. I cannot figure out for the life of me what sort of bases to do on like skeletons that will look good.
just sand, mate.
Um,
Just sand,
I
sand.
was thinking about black bases,
Mm,
not like black stone, but then with like dark red tufts to match the dark red armor on the models.
yeah.
But I've painted a full AOS army. I've done a bit more on my Gloomspite gits because I started them and then they just got dumped in the studio and never finished. And I've not even told you this yet. Obviously, we've got 40k 9th edition coming,
Oh
and I'm going to be breaking
yes.
out. I'm going to be breaking out the Necrons. Given how much stuff I'm getting painted, I wanted to paint another army sooner. Yeah, buddy, Space Wolves. So I've been looking all week, and I'm like, I'll paint an army as a project, and it's took me about 3 days to pick which one. But I'm going to be doing all the new Chaos Space Marine stuff with like a Baden.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be smashing them bad boys out. So I'll be picking them up this week, and that'll be what I'll be cracking on with, I think.
Nice, 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 nice.
Obviously, still on the old furlough, so plenty of hobby time. So
Yeah.
getting it done. But what about you, mate? What have you been doing in the kitchen? I mean, at the paint table?
Zero on the hobby table. I've been doing. Actually, I'm telling a bit of a fib. I don't know if you can see just there. You see just there that white thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the beginnings of another board. So to be fair, I did have an evening. What day was it? I think it was. Uh,
Monday.
it might have been Monday, bank holiday, Monday evening. I come in and I was sorting out the back end of the man cave because it's like full of junk, as you can see. There's boxes and stuff behind me, and
Yeah, yeah.
I thought the only way I'm going to get rid of all this wood, which I got for like lockdown projects, is to get the board made. So I made a start on it, and I think that one is going to be like loosely based on the entrance. You know the bit in the movies before the three hunters go to meet the King of the Dead, and they're in the Rohan camp
Yeah, yeah.
encampment, and it's like
Yeah.
sort of fields, hills, a
Breaking
few
the
a few
mountain.
trees, and then
Yeah.
that break in the mountain.
Mm.
It's kind of based on that. So it'll be a very generic fantasy board, but that's what my inspirations come from to get that done. So I've been doing that. It's very early stages, but no doubt over the next few weeks I'll do it. I'm working probably. I'm probably going to be working now at least 3 days a week, which is good
That's good.
for the bank balance. But it's not anywhere near what I'm used to, but it's better than it was. I was
Yeah,
panicking for a
100%.
bit. Um,
Yeah.
so my hobby times took a bit of a hit, but because I'm in the house more as well, because the kids are off, that's why I've been doing a lot of the cooking stuff. So I've been quite busy on the old frying pan.
Do you know any good YouTube channels that have 35 viewers right now should subscribe to for cooking? Shameless plug time.
Yeah. If anyone is interested or enjoys cooking and wants to see things that I'm up to and also share what they're doing and share what other people are doing, then get over to I Can You Can Cook on YouTube. There's also a Facebook group. Get over there. It's good. It's good. There's over 100 people in the group already now. It's
I
pretty
didn't know
good.
you knew that many people, mate. To be honest
I
with you.
didn't, mate. I didn't.
The funny thing is, I got invited by someone else, not you.
I know. I know. I went out of my way not to. I unticked your name when it said invite friends.
That was a smart choice. I've already told you a few
Uh,
of the posts that I've
well, the
typed
thing
in
is,
the
I know you only have pot noodles, so I knew it wasn't for
That's
you.
it. Like nobody wants to see my luxury beans and toast, do they? You know what I mean? I don't really think I can add much to that group. But no, what has everyone else been doing hobby wise? What's on the paint table? What's coming up? Has anyone managed to get any social distance games in? Oh, he's got his top table mug. I've
Hmm.
not even made a drink. I am
I'm not
very
on beer tonight. This is the first live stream in 2 months where I've not been drinking beer. I'm on tea.
I'm actually going to send a sales rep round and make sure you're
I've
okay.
got nothing in. I've got nothing in. Because I'm back at work now. I'm working. I'm working tomorrow, so I wouldn't have a drink tonight anyway. I don't. I don't drink on school nights.
Fair
So
one, fair one.
yeah.
Let's jump in the chat. I'll pick up from where we left off, and we'll see what everyone's up to. So we've got Glyn Seymour. He says, I didn't want to post tonight, but not a lot of peeps like liver. I'd assume that's his latest cooking.
Uh,
Uh,
yeah. Where are you up to? Where are you starting?
where we left off. So
I didn't say any of the comments. I just said who was in. So I don't know if you want to read.
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
So Will Pintar says, yo, 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 boys. What's
Yo.
up, Will? Good to have you, mate. George Harold says, hi, all. I've been watching your videos for ages, but it's the first time I've actually managed to join a live one. Well, welcome, Matt.
Good stuff.
Hey, that was
Yeah.
good.
Please don't have your expectations too high, my friend.
Yeah, as long as the bar is low, you're going to enjoy yourself. But because it's your first time in the live stream, good job commenting. Keep the questions coming, and let everyone know where you're from, what games you play in the chat.
Yeah. I must apologise as well before you carry on. I've just noticed how like skew with like the screen is. There's a big black line down the right hand side for some unknown reason. I set up at the very last minute. It was all of the
I think it was like 20 past before we both got the
yeah.
kids in bed.
It was
like, right, scramble.
the last time we streamed was the pub, so it was all set up with the pub background and everything like that. So I had to quickly just change it. So I do apologise. It's all right though, isn't it? It looks all right.
We don't have a license for Wednesday nights, I'm
No,
afraid, people.
no late license.
Flying Mammals in and waves. Hey, Ruth, how are you doing? How are you and Sean? I need to message you guys, actually. I was going to do it today.
Ooh,
then
that's
in
daunting.
Facebook, we've got Dwalling Grudgebane. I get excited every time I say his name. He says it's rainy day painting, I think. Fair enough, mate. Matteo Coelho, sorry, my cat's just running around like a lunatic, says weather is clear for now in the Netherlands. Glyn Seymour, Jay, when are you back at EG? I don't know. The rest of EG are back. They are obviously the shop is shut and the gaming centre is shut, but like, God, nerds wanted toys while all this lockdown's going on. We are busy. So everyone else is back, but I am at mercy in to the school. So when Oscar goes back to school, that'll be when I go back to work.
Yeah.
So I'm still at home and I'm ready to go back. Andamir says, hey up, my friend. Welcome. Good to have you in as always, becoming a regular on the streams. Dwelling says, I'm working on my Balrog, more fiery layers tonight. He's been posting that in the group. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's cool. Very cool.
Really cool. Is it Dean or Dene? I do this every week.
I think it's Dean.
Okay, we're just going to say Dean. Dean, good to have you, my friend. Dead of Dunharrow project for me. Very nice.
Yeah.
Pics will be up in the top table group soon. I mean, you can do that army in like a lunch break, right?
So, oh, depends. Depends if you want it. Yeah, depends. It's one of them armies where you can put a load of time into it and make it look awesome, but it's only like you who gets the benefit because you know how much effort you put into it, because it doesn't look too dissimilar to when you do a 10-minute paint job.
It's like painting. I compare it to painting. You've seen mine as well. Stormtroopers for Star Wars Legion.
Yeah.
I did my units in an hour each, and they look great. And don't get me wrong, the people who put 10 hours into their units, they don't look 10 times better.
Yeah.
Dead of Dunharrow is a wicked army. I keep saying I'm going to get it as like a weekend painting project at some point. But Rob Camp says top table arms, amazing night out, was a laugh to watch while painting. Who doesn't want to watch me and you sitting here getting? It was good.
It was good. The next one, we don't know when the next one's going to be, but we were saying we were going to do something maybe a little bit different or additional, which might be fun.
We need to test it, don't we?
Yeah, I think we need a jukebox as well. I think we need to work out how to get music on, and I think the only way we can do it is by getting covers. Like decent cover bands.
Yeah. Like they play in like Primark and that, where it's like
yeah. We could just have that on in the background. That'd be all right. We'll make a playlist on YouTube, and I'll just screen grab it. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Alex Hart says, I've painted 6 Knights of Minas Tirith and Faramir Horse. don't know if you saw them on the group page. I did, mate. I did. They're pretty good. Also got his foot version of Denethor and Warhorn. You are
Very
killing
cool.
it, man.
Yeah, very cool.
Gondor. At some point, I need to paint a Gondor army. It
Mate,
just looks great.
I've been saying since the new edition came back out, I'm going to redo my Gondor, and if I'm honest, I don't think it's ever going to be at the top of my list.
Have you used them in the new edition?
No,
No.
no,
To be fair, we don't get to play that many games outside Battle Reports, so I can
no,
understand that.
no.
Rob Camp says, as for hobby, I've been working on a Mordor Troll Marans. Very nice. Make sure you're all posting pictures in the Top Table Gaming community group on Facebook.
Yeah.
Carl Daly, he's been putting together Theoden and Elfhelm. The mistake I made with Elfhelm was priming him first before gluing him together. What, so like priming it on the sprue? Some people do that, don't they? They prime the sprues.
I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan of that.
No. Do you know what? Here's a controversial one. Everyone let us know in the chat what you do as well. Like, I fully agree with and understand and accept that it's the better way to do it, but I can't bring myself to painting sub-assemblies.
No.
Even if I'm going to glue a massive shield on that's in the way, like I did with my Bone Reapers, I'd still rather do it. I'd still rather stick the shield on and struggle, and I know it's illogical, but I just don't like the idea of wafting glue around something I've painted and all that stuff at the end. I don't know what you do, mate.
The other thing about like painting on a sprue as well, like you paint it and then when you cut it off, you then got to touch up where you've cut it.
Yeah.
Just like seems, you know what happens then if you've got to file it, like because sometimes when you cut it, you don't always get a clean cut and you got to file it.
Or if you glue it together and then dry brush it, the paint won't adhere the same. And it's a weird one. It's interesting, but like I get sub assemblies slightly different are important, but it's just something I've never. Like I was building them Bone Reapers, and I'm like, these shields are going to block the entire chest of the model. I was like, I'm gluing them on anyway.
Yeah.
I couldn't not, but anyway. Andomir says, "Woo Necrons." I think Necrons are going to be the new hotness, given they are the other side of the Space Marine box. I'm going to be doing them. I can't bring myself to paint the Necrons I've got because I don't know what's getting new models. Because I've got 30 Necron warriors that are getting new models, and that's why I'm looking at the Chaos stuff because I don't want to paint anything that might get nicer models.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it twice. Glyn Seymour's been scouring eBay. Nice. Joe Holtzman been working on the Wakandans from Marvel Crisis Protocol and painting some horses ready for Horse Week. I saw how disappointed Larry was when Horse Week didn't happen.
Horse Week. Yeah, that's this week. Horse Week this week.
Are you live on Friday?
Friday, yeah. Battle streams in Middle Earth.
We've got somebody you might have heard of, Ben Bowles. Yo, dude, just checking in. Do you know him?
Benjamin, how are you doing?
Yeah, our boss and overlord is checking in there, making sure we're not screwing it up, making sure Steve's unmuted the microphones, which is appreciated.
Yeah, I did it first time, don't you worry.
It was me who cocked up tonight. Glenn's keeping his eye on Necrons and 9th edition. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? And there's videos we could make about hype trains and new releases. But like everybody, when a new edition of 40k comes, given the size of the game, everybody has a bit of a look, don't they? I obviously for work will learn how to play it and be able to demo it and stuff. But I just want to paint some nice models right now. Luke Churcher says, managed to get my first game in since lockdown. A bit strange keeping 2 meters apart, but great to be rolling dice again. Yeah, I am very envious of you, my friend. Rob Camp says, out of the frying pan and into the fire. I think that's a video series idea for you there, mate, for the other channel. You know, now
the other channel. You sound like a disgruntled wife.
So now me and the top table veterans are second best. We understand. It's fine. Lynn says, Angel invited me. Love the new group. It is quite cool, actually.
Awesome.
I go on and have a nose.
Awesome,
I mean, I can't not get 57 notifications off you a day. But
it's food. It's food, right? Who does that? Like we're humans. Like we hunt and eat, and the other thing is all we plan to do, really, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Are you going to do any videos where it's actually like you cooking and going all like flipping stuff in the pan and that?
Yes, I just need to work out how to do it, and work out where because my kitchen's not a massive kitchen. It's
dead long and narrow, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, it wasn't too bad. We had an integrated fridge freezer, and when we had that, it was fine. It was fine. I had loads of room in the kitchen, but then literally the second week of lockdown, the fridge went kaput. And we decided we got like an American style fridge freezer because it has been on the cards for a long time to give the kitchen a refurb. She's been mithering me to do it for ages. So we said, well, we may as well get the fridge that we want to get for the refurb, and then we'll just live with it till I can. I was going to do it like around Christmas time, dependent on lockdown and when I get back to work and money starts rolling in again. So yeah, it's doable. It is doable. I'll work something out. But yeah, soon. I'm just doing the sort of the still videos at the minute with the still shots and stuff just to get started. But they're all right. They're easy to follow. I'll try and make them as easy as possible.
Can't wait to see you in your pinny going all Ainsley Harriet,
Oh
mate.
mate,
Flipping the
you want to
food.
see? You want to see?
Excited.
You want to see my chef's hat and my chef's coat, mate?
Oh, dear.
Embroidered. So,
Anyway, should we get back to the toy soldiers?
if you want, you can come and be my sous chef, mate.
No, I think I'm busy, mate. I'm washing my hair that day. Green Tree says, I'm back to work 6 days a week at the minute. Shouldn't complain, but I'm gone from having all the time in the world to none. Do you know what? I'm genuine. I was saying this to you, Steve. Like, a lot of us have actually been out of action for like 7-8 weeks now. And I'm terrified of the culture shock when I've got to go and work 40 hours a week.
Mate, oh, it's a killer. It's a killer. Do you know what the worst thing is? My alarm. The first day on Tuesday, when I went in on Tuesday, my alarm went off. I think it was 5:45. I've not heard my alarm for two months.
Oh, no.
And then it went off at 5:45. I thought I was dying or something. I was like, whoa, whoa. Alien invasion. I was thinking, what the flipping heck's that noise?
Oh man,
But
but I
it's
am
good.
excited to get back to work, and luckily I get to work with toy soldiers, so it's not the worst, is it? Andomir says lots of random minis. I may be playing Shadespire on Friday. Nice. Have you
Nice.
seen the Shadespire computer game, Steve?
No.
They've literally done a full computer game version of Shadespire, the game with the cards and everything.
All right.
It's not just like a TTS mod; it's a proper released game on Steam.
All right. Okay.
And slowly releasing the war bands, so like you can learn how they play and stuff. And I keep meaning to give it a dabble. And interestingly, it actually makes for better battle reports than people using the minis.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah.
Like, because everything's fully 3D, fully animated. The models move, the models hit each other. You can see people's hands of cards. Like,
Is it an official game?
Yes, yeah, it's an official one. Well, they've licensed it out, but it is GW official, yeah.
Yeah.
So I keep meaning to have a look at it. If anyone's played, what's it like compared to the real thing? Because I loved Shadespire, but then there was 4 million cards, and it just got a bit much to kind of remember what they all do, and it got very competitive. But be good to know. Steve Bonnar's in. Steve Bonnar is in. He's everybody. Of course, Steve saw you were in the started yawning, Bonnar. Apologies for that, mate. I missed it. Carl Daly says, no painting from me tonight, sitting here applying for part-time job, boring as hell. Yeah, I can imagine there's probably not much out there at the moment, given the situation as well, but hopefully you find something, my man. And then SPG Jason from Facebook says, first-time Patreon and live stream. Yeah.
Yes, good man.
Working on some Goblin Town in Greenville, USA. Good man.
Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Good to have you in. Ask some questions, get involved in the chat. GBHO Podcast says, evening nerds. What,
hey, Damien. It's either Damien or Tom.
Definitely.
Tom's always in. He's always in. Yeah. Can't get rid of him.
Tom's a super fan. Telling us to do like a hot table gaming magazine or something. We should look at it, shouldn't we? The wonderful Dries is in from the Netherlands, and he says started a Tau Army. What up, my friend? Hope you and the kids are doing well.
Yeah, I think Ben was talking about a Tau Army for a while. I think he might have gone off the idea. I was talking to him the other day. I can't remember what army he said he fancies now from 40k.
I was eyeing up Death Guard, but obviously because Ben's done them, I left it alone.
Yeah, Death Guard are grim to play against, man.
They look great.
Just don't die.
That's the best bit. Matt Prescott managed to get a 40k game in my back garden, also painting more wolves. Matt's wolves are looking good.
Yeah, they're looking good, man.
You keep there in the group, man. He has been doing that. Wicked. And more. I'm painting up Dark Angels Chapter Master at the moment, but then I'm selling them to someone. Can enjoy painting me. I mean, very nice. Do you know what? If I did a Space Marine chapter, it would be Dark Angels. Like, wicked. Because they're basically Chaos Marines, aren't they? They're the bad guys. Or good guys. Alliance.
Yeah, they're on the fringe, aren't they?
Yeah. Paintbrush Pirate says, evening all, assemble then spray unless it's very fiddly. Good advice there, man. Nick Gardner's in. What up, my friend? It was weird having a stream about Nick in. He says, just got here. I don't know what the topic is, but the answer is olds. The topic, my friend, is which SBG army should they delete from history and remove the models? Thanks for answering it for us, my man. Do you want to take over from Guardians of Wiltshire, mate?
Yeah, Guardians Wiltshire. I'm assuming it's Dowie Evans. He says, "Good evening, gents. How's things? Very well, my friend. I hope you're well."
Have you seen Dowie's sick haircut stuff
Yes,
that's
yes,
going on?
yes, yes,
Looking like
yes.
a Viking, man. It's
Yeah.
cool.
And also, anyone in
Hopefully,
the chat, do check out Guardians of Wiltshire's YouTube channel. They're doing a lot of interviews in and around the community, which is good. We've got the great thing about if you're an SBG player or fan at the moment is there's a lot of content,
yeah,
which is it's good for us because we get to watch content that we because we don't watch. I don't know. I'm assuming you're the same as me. You don't watch your own content. It's
no,
just
once it's edited, it's put up,
yeah,
and I choose to never look at it again
yeah.
because
What
it's weird.
once you've
It's not good.
edited it, you're sick of looking at it. So it's nice. It's
Yeah,
nice to have some other content out there. So yeah, welcome, brother. George Harold. I'm in Birmingham. My main game is
nice.
Middle Earth SBG. I also play A Song of Ice and
That's some of
Fire
Ice
and
and Fire.
Bolt Action.
Big love
Uh,
to anyone who plays Ice and Fire, mate. Welcome.
yeah. Simon Powell's says, "Evening, lads. How are you doing, Simon?"
Good evening.
Um,
And congratulations to Simon as well, because Simon runs the volunteer program for Drowned Earth, and their last Kickstarter finished yesterday, Alaya Chronicles, and made like 85 grand and killed it. So another game coming to life from James and Simon and the crew. So
yeah,
big
yeah.
shout out there, brother.
Nick Garden says, "I'm surprised they remade the Necron Warriors. They were old, but they didn't look bad."
Yeah, do you know what
Mm.
do you know one of the reasons I've picked Chaos Space Marine for like a painting project as well is
Go on.
because if they're gonna redo a model, it's gotta be the Khorne Berserkers. It's
Mm.
got to be. They're the same models I bought when I was 10, when I got into GW. Like they are the 20 years old
Well, they're
plus.
40 years old then.
Ah, I'm not the one hiding a dodgy hairline under that hat, my
Hey, no,
friend.
I've had my hair cut. I've had my hair cut. I
Look
got my
at
hair
that.
cut.
Looks
Proper,
good.
proper barber.
Yes.
Um, where are we? Dean says, I've been teaching the fiance to play Middle Earth SPG. She loves it so far. Good stuff. Although she did demand I paint Owen for her before we could play. Standard.
Living the dream, and he's got a
I
wargaming
know.
missus. That's
I
that's
know.
it. You made it in life, my
My
friend.
my missus had a game of Hero Quest with me and the kids. And she painted the dwarf from Hero Quest. She kind of enjoyed it. But if I said to her, oh, if I went like that when the kids are in bed, love, do you fancy a bit of the old SPG? She'd probably slap me across the face. So yeah, she's a keeper, Dean. She's a keeper, mum. Simon Powell's, he's in the Matrix. He's said evening lads in YouTube as well.
Nice.
Glenn says live stream it, head chef's tea. What live stream
I
me
think
cook? Oh, that'd be a nightmare
I
live
think
stream.
you should cook, and I can sit there and just eat it all and critique it, and that sounds like the perfect relationship for
Well, do
me,
you know
mate.
what? I've had a bit of an idea today because we've
Go
not
on,
seen each
let's
other
hear it.
properly for ages.
We
I
haven't.
think when the world does go back to normal, I'm gonna get like you and Ben round. Mate, I might even get Pintar round. Our cookies all a meal. We'll sit down, have a few beers, and have some food.
I'm busy, mate. Sorry.
Fine, fine.
No, that sounds
I
good.
don't ask
That
twice.
does sound good.
Eric says, greetings everyone from the US, New York. Greetings to you, Eric. I hope you're keeping safe, my friend. Um, Damien says, Jay's learning what it feels like when Steve wanders off and starts a new YouTube channel. Give me a call, pal. What you're feeling is normal. There's a support group to help, and we are here for you.
That's really good to hear because if I spend any longer in the shower in the fetal position, it's going to get a bit weird. So to know someone's there to get me through this
Listen,
troubling.
I live life in the fast lane. You got to keep up or get out of the way. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm glad
Oh
you
god,
started this cooking channel, mate.
jeez.
That's all I'm going to say.
Destro the Dexter says, Houstonian greetings all. Greetings, Destro. Hope you're well.
Greetings, my friend.
It's funny because Destro the Dexterous. Where did you get that name for that YouTube name from? Because whenever I say it, I always think of Destro from GI Joe or Action Forces. I knew it when I was a kid. Action Force figures. The
I'm too
the guy
young
with the
to
map.
remember.
Yeah, he's got like a chrome head, and he's called Destro. I always think of
Right,
that.
okay.
Random fact. Glenn says he's laughing at Damien. Nick Gardner, I play Underworlds online as well. It's okay.
Nice. Give it a go.
Sean has Underworlds Online. It's great.
What up, Sean?
Dwellin says, how would you guys go about painting fire?
I would use a brush.
Fire's a funny
No,
one.
joking aside, I'd use an airbrush all day long.
I've painted fire a few times. I've done a couple of Balrogs. I've painted 2 Balrogs. But what else have I painted that's fire? I've painted something else that was fire. Start with it's difficult to paint. You start with white, and then you basically go up from white through like your yellows, oranges, reds, and then at the end, as weird as it sounds, you dry brush in black, and it looks all right.
Interestingly, I read a thing online. Most people paint fire backwards on miniatures.
Yeah.
You start with red, then orange, then yellows on the tips, but it's actually like white, yellow, orange, red, black. Like
the closer to the heart of a fire you get, the whiter it is. So yeah, there's loads of stuff on YouTube how to do it, but I used to paint it that way, the reverse way.
I do know the Artist Opus YouTube channel's doing a fire video soon.
So well, hold out for that.
Using the dry brush as well, and some of their videos are edited by a pro.
Some of them videos are fire.
Oh.
There you go.
I'm sorry about him.
There you go. Nick Gardner says there's ups and downs to the online game. A lot of it is streamlined, and you never roll the wrong number of dice, but most decisions are concrete. So if you make a mistake and pick the wrong thing, oh well. Yeah. Tom says it is Tom. Hi everyone, I'm Tom. I like rocks.
I knew it was Tom. I like rocks too. These cakes taste like rocks.
Yeah, of course they do. How did your son like that slice that I dropped off?
Well, I was.
I
didn't want him to have too much sugar in his diet. So, yeah.
When he's older, he's going to watch these videos back and he's going to find out that you ate that.
By the time, mate, you know, I asked him if he'd play SPG with me the other day, and he literally like grunted at me and carried on playing on his Nintendo Switch. Fuming, but yeah, one day I'll have one.
Where are we? Glenn says we'll be looking for work post lockdown. Sorry, I can't see. I'm scratching my eyes are getting a little bit itchy. Looking for work post lockdown. I can cook. You can too. Restaurant. Oh, right. Okay. A restaurant. That's the dream.
Mate, you could reopen a meat cheese for tournaments. It'd be legit.
That's the dream. Nick Gardner likes trains. Frederick says, GBH podcast, hey Tom, do you prefer ingenious rock or sedimentary rock? This is going to be a thing. Guy in Wiltshire, it is indeed Dewey. It's always me nowadays. Cheers for the kind words, and I love doing the Viking style hair.
I got a bit envious, I'm not going to lie. I was going for the beard. I've not shaved in 8 weeks until the other day, but couldn't stick it out. My face was starting to annoy me.
You'll have to take over the comments.
I imagine my face annoys most people in the stream, but what can you do?
Yeah, you'll have to take over the comments, dude, because my eyes are starting to...
Oh, Steve's hay fever's kicking in. So Eric Schultz says, I'm celebrating reaching 100 models painted so far this year. A monumental achievement for me. I'm a really slow novice. That's pretty good work, man. That means you can push for 200 in a year, which is epic work. Good, man. I would love to see a group photo of all 100 in the Top Table Gaming community, so make it happen. Nick Gardner, I disagree about the new Chaos Space Marines. If they remake anything, it should be Noise Marines, as they're the only cult marine that doesn't have a kit, and you have to buy an add-on for egg guns. Yeah, you've just been doing some Noise Marines as well, and they look amazing. We've got the legend that is James Coleman from Facebook. What up, my friend? It's been too long. And actually, I take that back, those nice words, because I've just read what you've wrote on the screen. Jay, what makeup are you using? You seem to have de-aged. Can't give away those secrets, but I did start getting ready at 4:30 yesterday.
He's got a filter on his webcam, that's what it is.
That's it, yeah. It's a mask. It's a mask. I'm secretly Ben. That's the thing. George Harold says, I've been meaning to catch a live stream for a while to tell you about how you reunited me with an old nerd friend. I was watching one of your videos before Christmas, and I recognized the name of one of your commenters. I knew him from uni, but hadn't seen him in years.
That's awesome.
Will Pilnsar is definitely in, bro, for a party at Steve's. Yeah. And then George carries on to say, I got in contact with him. We met up in January for some games, and we've stayed in touch since. Thanks for bringing us together.
That's awesome, my friend. That is awesome.
That's a really cool little feel.
Yeah. Next move now is get to one of our events.
Who was it, by the way, George?
Yeah, who was it, George?
Glyn Seymour says, I'll take Jay's place and take whiskey. There you go. Sorted. Adam G says, "Evening, lads
Hey,
and
pal.
chat." Adam, hope you're doing well, my friend.
Mr. Alan Garnett.
Eric, yeah. Eric Schulz says, "Nick, I'm in Rochester, of course, New York squad there. I love Rochester; it's a wicked place." What does Dwelling Grudgeblane is saying reverse to highlighting, so I'm assuming he's talking about fire there.
Yeah.
Joe Holtzman, I painted the flames on my first Balrog backwards because teenage me just copied the box art. Yeah. And George Howard says that advice on painting fire is lit.
It's lit.
I expect that from Steve, but not you, George. You're better than that. Better than that. So, Skullmunch, what do you guys think about the new 40k Crusade stuff? Sounds like an exciting way to play. I'm very interested. Very interested. I love the fact that it isn't necessary, and correct me if anything I've read is wrong, because there's a lot of information out there, like third party and like direct. It's not necessarily, or it certainly doesn't start points or power level. It's a start collecting box. That alone is incredible. Like, if that's true, I've read that you can start with any start collecting box, which is really good. And I think it's going to take a lot of kind of tee-ups from the Warcry stuff. Obviously, they've alluded to leveling things up. Like, they even mentioned that if a Space Marine dies, to fit the fluff, you can put him in a Dreadnought, like they do. And I'm very excited, actually. Like, anyone who's got any cool bits of information about Crusade, let us know. But that's definitely the way I'm going to be playing. One thing they announced today, which I think is really cool as well, is they've announced they've upped the points of everything.
Yeah.
So the article that came out today, it talks about command points, and basically you start with a set amount of command points given on the game size. Like a 2,000 point game, it's just like 6 command points. And I think you may still get the stuff for battalions and things, but you start with just more command points. And they literally alluded to everything just going up in points, so there's less on the table, which I like. I always think there's a bit too much going on, and the fact that everything's going up in points might mean that I do play full-size games rather than staying on the smaller end.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the Crusade stuff?
Yeah, I really like the idea of it. As I'm getting into my twilight years, I'm more of a narrative-based player anyway. I like that. I kind of like that thing. I like there to be a bit of story. I like to have a bit of fun with the game, so it really appeals to me. As far as like the points levels and like you say about playing full points games, I'm interested to see what they've done, because if you remember when at the first announcement and they did that little sort of cartoon intro, and it was basically saying that they're doing something with the rules now, so it's as easy to play it like with a lot fewer models, as well as you can also play the massive games. So I'd be interested to see sort of like the more. I don't think it'd be like a skirmish size, but lesser models on a smaller table. That'd be great. That'd be perfect for me.
It's interesting as well. They're releasing daily articles now, as they will do right up to launch, and they're teasing us with like bits of weapon profiles. The Necron one looked incredible, by the way, with AP4. And one of the things they talked about today was there's loads of new missions, and I think their intention, obviously, they have the ITC as a thing, which is like an independently run huge tournament scene, and I think GW are going to take hold of that and they become the ITC. So the guy who ran the ITC, I believe, is now part of the Warhammer community team.
He is.
With the scenarios and stuff. And one thing they said today is they've done sets of scenarios built for specific point levels. Now, there's names. There's like Battleforged is a point level. I'm making these up. Or Crusade is a points level. And certain scenarios are only for certain point levels. And I think that's a key thing, because a lot of scenarios, when you scale down the points, you have to kind of YOLO the board size, YOLO the deployment. I think they're actually building it with different sizes in mind in this edition, which is good. And they have said that the rules is more than 8 pages this time. So hopefully they've added a lot more kind of clarity through it as well, which is interesting.
Excuse me, I'm yawning like crazy. I was up early this morning.
Yeah, it's all right. But no, I'm enjoying everything that comes out. I'm making a video about things I'd love to see from 9th edition this weekend. And there's some stuff that I'm liking the look of. There's some stuff I'd love to see that I just don't think we'll get, but it's personal preference. But I'm looking forward to a new edition. It's great. I played 8th for a good 3 months when it came out. I'll probably do the same with this. And it's just pushing toys around the table, right? I think the most important bit is the dude across from you rather than what's going on.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
and obviously, we're going to give it a go, aren't we?
Yeah, the good thing for us is we've been saying for ages. I mean, because we did literally dip our toe into 40k 12 months ago, whenever it was, maybe a bit longer. With the Conquest magazines, it seemed like an ideal thing to start off with because none of us were experienced that much in the game really. So Conquest seemed like a good idea. We started it and it was going all right, and then just life got really busy, and then Warcry
It
came
was
out, and we jumped
it was
onto
when we
that.
were setting up the studio and stuff as well, wasn't it? Like the
Yeah, it
channel was
was.
a weird transition phase, so it
Mm,
kind of everything was hard to maintain at that point.
yeah. So this, I like, and for the last couple of months, I've been saying 40k is coming, it's coming, it's coming. We're going to be doing 40k. So the fact that they announced this when they did was they couldn't have announced it at a better time really for us, because it means now rather than us drop onto it and start doing content for 8th edition and then it be outdated in a couple of months, we can now plan and wait for the release of ninth and hopefully have some stuff in the bank ready just to drop on the
Exactly.
channel, which would be really cool. But yeah, we're all excited about that. I'm excited.
I'll throw
Um,
a question to the chat as well. Like, don't say battle reports because a given, but what sort of content for anyone interested in 40k or anyone who plays it would you like to see? Like, would you like to see our perspective as new players learning it? Would you like to see faction reviews? Like, what sort of stuff would you watch? Because if you guys want us to put work into the 9th edition launch, then we will. And it'd be interesting to know, like, for those of you who are in a community that we're currently not a part of, what stuff would be great to see, and we can see what we can do, right?
yeah.
Cool. Right, let's jump back in the chat. So Joe Holzman says second Balrog I painted the whole thing white and then glazed it through yellow, orange, and red, and then dry brushed it dark brown and black at the end. That sounds good, actually.
Yeah.
Joe, make sure you post some pictures over in the group. Rob Camp says change the name of it to Amici Steez. Oh, there's an Amici's pun right there. Amici Steez. I'm on board with that. GBA Podcast says igneous and defo. I like my rock formed by the cooling and solidification of magma or lava. We're getting some like
He had to
rock.
Google that. That's why it took so long to reply.
We had to find Tom's Wikipedia page and copy and paste it,
Yeah.
I think. And of course, he's being praised for his rock solid reply there.
Ooh.
Green Tree says, not had a shave or haircut in 3 months. I look like Robinson Crusoe. How's everyone else coping? We're all doing okay, mate. We're just hanging in there. And we've hit a bit of a, we may as well say it and talk to the guys in the channel, we've hit a bit of a content writer's block, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's very limited scope of what we can do because we can't get together and there's no new stuff rolling out. And there's a lot of people making stuff. And we're all kind of cannibalizing each other's ideas. So we're good, and we're just looking forward to things getting back to full swing so we can keep bringing you the stuff that you subscribe for, really. I think that's fair to say, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's one of them. As a YouTube channel, you've in a situation like this, it's very odd, and you've got a choice really. You can sit back and kind of bide your time and hopefully get some stuff in the bank, or at least plan some stuff to do for when normality returns, or you can just make videos for making videos' sake, and both, there's nothing wrong with either. We're kind of, what am I doing here? Just why is doing my head in? We're kind of finding our feet with it really. It is a very odd situation. we I've hit a brick wall with content ideas. There's loads of stuff I could be doing, but it's very time consuming. So like board building videos, painting videos, I could do that because people like them, but it's time consuming, and I haven't got the time right now. So maybe in a couple of weeks, I might have a week where I'm off for 5-6 days of the week. So it's not like content's going to stop. We're just sort of me and Jay especially I've touched bases briefly a couple of times this week, and each time we've kind of said, yeah, we could do with sitting down and deciding what we're going to do with this, that, the other. I'm like, yeah, but then either I've been busy or Jay's had his lad and he's been busy, and yeah, it's difficult. We don't want to put stuff out that people are not going to enjoy. Is the main reason, I think. And it's hard to know what you want. We know you all at
Yeah,
the pub. We know that. That's a given. But
top table arms are given, but I don't want to batter you all with top 5 reasons you should blow your nose when the clock hits 12 and like stuff like that. But we're
plus, seeing me and Jay drunk will get tiresome.
for them, not for us. We'll still have a great time.
I'll have an
But
amazing time. Yeah.
there's plenty coming. I think it's fair to say. So, do you want to take over, mate? I'll do the Facebook one just to make it easy. So, Dwalin says I'll spam the group later with more. If that's cool, Fiery Balog, always, mate. Keep it coming. We all love sharing each other's stuff. Do you want to crack on from there, Rob Camp?
Yeah, Rob Camp says, I think Crusade can start at max 50 power level, unless the points change. Unless the point changes are massive, you'll want a smaller army to start with. So start collecting box would be ideal. Yeah, start collecting box would be. I suppose that really depends. Though the ones that are already out, do they all kind of equate to the same?
I think if it's anything like AOS, because that's what I can call on them. Plus or minus 10%, usually somewhere close. They try and build them as like a third of an army or a quarter. Do you know what I mean? Like, or a quarter of an army as rule of thumb. Some do go up, some do go down. But if you're doing like a slow grow and a very narrative crusade thing, it's enough, I think, because there'll no doubt be like relics you can buy and stuff like that. So I think I definitely read somewhere that a start collecting box is the start for any faction. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. He also says, I personally can't wait for it. Love growing an army over a period of time. Makes it feel more personal. Yeah, definitely. And I think doing that, like adding that story element to it, and sort of giving like your heroes names and stuff like that, it adds to that personal feel. So yeah, it's good. James Coleman, Crusade sounds ace, and the main reason I'm picking up 40k, having never played. Good man.
It's rare to see someone who's never played 40k because it tends to be the default first game I played, doesn't it? In most cases.
I don't know. I know a lot of people like me whose sort of entry into wargaming was Middle Earth and never really ventured past that because it done everything that they needed it to do. And I suppose there's other games. I suppose people start like with AOS and think, right, this is great. I don't need anything else. So, but I think 40k is probably the most popular. That's the thing, isn't it?
Maybe.
Steve says 25. What's PP PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Starter force taken from 50p people, which you can increase with the resources gained in campaign. That's still 17 plus infantry units with guard.
Nice.
Glenn says, ever getting round to that TTG battle companies? Yes. The answer is yes. It would have been done by now. Plus that other little mini series, which Jay and Ben masterminded. I'm sure that will come, yeah. But we can't get in the studio. This is the problem. This is why we're struggling for ideas.
I went in on Sunday night and it was I went to pick up some models because I've legit done that thing where you run out of stuff to paint. And I tell you what, it was heartbreaking because once we found out, obviously, the pandemic was happening, like I took a camera and a light and a webcam, and Steve took an X and a Y, and Ben took an X and a Y, and we basically dismantled it to make sure we could still bring content from home. And like I went in on Sunday, and when you go in a room and you can tell no one's been in it in 3 months.
Yeah.
And like it's cold and there's a proper mouldy coffee cup in the corner, and like
but that mouldy coffee cup's been there for about 2 years, mate.
Yeah, true.
That's got nothing to do with lockdown.
Yeah, true. But like it sounds daft, but it was like really sad just seeing it looking like, because obviously we've had so much fun in there. We put a lot of work into it, just seeing it kind of back to square one. But we were chatting the other day, and it kind of gives me and you an opportunity to maybe again we kitted out the studio, we've learned some stuff, so when we go back again, we can keep adjusting. Because once something's done, it's kind of like, oh, I'd love to change that one day, but it's working, so I'll leave it. But we've got another blank canvas now, and like we were chatting, and we're gonna have to set aside like a day or two to just get the studio outfitted again. So,
well, I think giving people a bit of a peek behind the curtain, so to speak. There's the studio set up and the way that we film, like battle reports, for instance, and the live battle reports, especially, which was something that was just kicking off when this hit, which is a nightmare. It was all sort of learn as you go. So every time we filmed a battle report, like we'd have cameras in different positions, or we'd change the top-down camera to be the action camera or the front camera, and we never really had anything set in stone. We were like I say, we were learning as we were going, I don't know if this is interesting to people or not, but I find it really interesting. I think that's why I really enjoy doing YouTube stuff. But we were learning as we went, and nothing. Every time we did something, we kind of said, "We'll leave it like that for now, and we'll come back to that." And it was one of those things where you never did, because then you start working on something else. So you leave the cameras where they are, you start working on lighting, or you leave the lights where they are, and you start working on microphones and sound and things like that. So everything was kind of in a half-assed, from want of a better word, sort of set up. So the fact that we've not been in there for 2 months, when we do get back in there, we're not just going to go in, plug all the cameras back in, and start filming. The plan is to get the studio in a setup that is the setup that we want it to be for the foreseeable.
Yeah, we were going to have a bit of a planning session last night, weren't we? But
Yeah,
obviously, real life. But we've been kind of looking at what other people are doing and figuring out what our dream scenario is, and we've got some plans in place. So it's sad we've not been in there, but it might be a blessing in disguise, because when we do come back, we could
yeah,
technically come back better.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I think what I'm trying to say is, don't expect, week one of lockdown being lifted and you're allowed more than 10 people in a room at once. That
9 battle
you're going to start seeing loads of battle reports, because that will be us. We'll probably spend a week, maybe 2 weeks in there, getting everything ready and painting or putting
We've got to
shelves
get
up
used to
or
the software and switching the cameras and stuff again as well. Like
yeah,
it took a long time to get half competent as we did. It's going to take a long time to get back to that. But
yeah. And the other thing is as well, which was we kept putting off and putting off and putting off. The editing of the battle reports. I think it's safe to say that I probably did a bulk of that. And then when Warcry was released, Jay was dipping in and he started to edit a lot of stuff, which really sort of took a lot of pressure off me. And Ben was sort of chewing at the bit or biting at the bit to get into it. And he's actually got a battle. Ben has a battle report filmed, part edited, where before this happened, I was supposed to sit down with him and just go through my motions. And the good thing about doing that is, if I'm editing a battle report and Jay's editing battle reports and Ben's editing battle reports, it's getting done 3 times quicker. B, because there's 3 of us doing it, I'm not just sort of got my blinkers on and think like this is how I do it.
if one of
Jay,
us is editing, it means there's still 2 available to play a
yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah. But as well as that, like we come up with ideas, so you might notice a quicker way of doing something that I've not noticed, because I'm just kind of setting my ways, and vice versa. And the same when Ben starts editing. I think it's going to take a lot of pressure off if you've got 3 people editing battle reports. It means that there's going to be more battle reports going out, which is great. And if we set up the studio and it's going to be that way forever, it means that everything is going to be very uniformed and the same, regardless of who's editing it. Which is
Yeah.
what we want. It's a bit of channel identity, which is what we want. So, yeah, we've waffled on for that for about 15-20 minutes. I think people have fell asleep, haven't they?
The double whack battle companies will happen. I don't know how we got
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Rogue Cloral says, I've never played 40k at all, so seeing it from the perspective of a new player picking up the edition for me, fair enough.
Well, join us in your journey, because you're going to be in the same boat as everybody. So jump on with us, my friend.
I wonder whether it's worth creating maybe a subgroup, because do you remember the GBH 8th L? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was cool, actually, for quite a while.
It
I think that was Mahali's idea, wasn't it?
It wasn't cool.
I liked it in there. It was all right.
It's terrible.
Wallin is glazing yellow right now. Very nice. Steve Barnard says 40k Army Reviews fluff episode on your characters and forces. That's interesting stuff, but I feel like that's something you need to be a veteran of the game to do, not a new player. Otherwise, I'm just reading from a book, and I feel like that's a lot less engaging. Glenn Seymour says content in each part of 40k, i.e. Crusade and match play. Yeah, I think we'll definitely be covering both of those. That goes without saying. GWH podcast. Tom never Googles anything. He doesn't know how to use an internet. So yeah, mean with a fossil brush, though, I believe. George Harold says, my only interest in 40k is Kill Team. Any plans to cover that? That's a question for you.
Yes. The answer is yes. Yes.
There you go. Yes. Yeah. Dean says, you should do a crossover series. If I can, you can cook making Middle-earth foods. I'm looking forward to how to cook lambus bread.
Well, I've been Googling it this week. Lambus bread.
considering we share a YouTube account, you've been Googling some weird food this week. Did I watch something like how to make a chicken cheesecake today?
No,
Was that
somebody
you?
somebody posted that on my page. Yeah. I
I've not watched it, but that sounds
I don't
horrible.
think it's a chicken cheesecake. I think it's the way you worded it. I think it's a chicken and cheese.
Cheese, like pie,
Yeah.
cake.
I think it's the
Yeah.
way they word. To be fair, when I read it, I was like, oh. But then it looked quite nice actually. He's done a video of it. It looks quite nice.
Adam G, can you give us one of the top 10 reasons? I'm assuming that's for blowing you over when the clock strikes 12. If you don't, a curse will be put on your family. There you go. Glyn Seymour, top 5 reasons why Steve is Robin and Jay is the Batman of TTG. I can give you the top 4,317 of them, my friend. He knows
I
it.
totally disagree with that. Totally disagree. There's no way. No. There's no scenario where I'm Robin. No, not having it.
Mate, the people have spoken.
I'd rather be
Although,
cat. I'd rather be Catwoman than Robin.
if we're talking only fools and horses, Batman and Robin, you definitely look like the Batman Rodell boy.
You're definitely Rodney, mate.
Yeah, I'll take that. I look wicked in a pair of tights.
You had a duffel coat, didn't you?
Steve Bonner says slow grow custodes 50 power is like 10 minis. I've settled on chaos, but I nearly did custodes because I've got a 17 model list, just 12 of them massive jet bikes, and it looks dead easy to paint. But I figured I'd try something a bit more extravagant. But custodes are cool. They're like the elite of the elite, aren't they? Plus, Superman paints them, so that's why everyone loves them. Paintbrush Pirate. I've never played 40k, never really been tempted by it. I love the models. I prefer fantasy to sci-fi. I dislike the stigma around the meta tournament play, but a new edition is an opportunity that could happen. Will Pintar, just for the record, Jay, I'm smashing Realm Royale while you're on, lol. So my little boy, who is turning 7 next week, he is addicted to Fortnite, and it's doing me head in. And he was watching a YouTube video the other day, and there's a fantasy version where you have like spells and crossbows and swords, but it's Fortnite called Realm Royale, and it's free on Xbox. And I've been hammering it because I'll play it with Oscar, and I got Will Pintar on it the other day. It's fantastic. Steve Bonner says, you guys need to play Necromunda. And Necromunda is an interesting one because I hear from, like, with a lot of games like AOS and 40k, like, people love it or they hate it. It's weird. It's Marmite, isn't it? I'm a 40k player. I'm an AOS player. Great. I love GW games. But everybody seems to tell me who plays Necromunda is fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I was again pre-lockdown. Matt Woods, big friend of the channel, an absolute legend of a chap. He's pretty into Necromunda. He was, I think, just literally the week before lockdown, he was heading to Element to play with some of the local players.
He plays a big campaign at the Forge as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Matt,
And he was talking to me, and I said to him, I can't be bothered reading the book. I said, but if you want to show me how to play, I'll happily give it a go because it does look cool. I just like the idea of the gangs, and I like the terrain setup and things like that. But I've never played it, but I think it does look cool. But if I had a choice of games to start, it's probably not in my top 3. So
yeah, I'm the same. I love it, but it's not top of the pops.
Yeah.
Which is fair. Pintar. So you went in the studio Sunday and I still don't have my gods. I didn't even think of messaging you, man. Will's got some stuff in the studio. I didn't even think it was a proper last minute fly to the studio.
And it was about 11 o'clock at night, to be fair.
I know, but we can sort it on Saturday. GBHL podcast. I've never played 40k. I nearly started with Imperial Guard and all the metal regiments, Catachans, Rough Riders in the mid 90s, and Dark Eldar when 3rd dropped in 98, but I never took the plunge. Dark Eldar was how I got into 40k. That was just as I started playing, because you got one free on the front of White Dwarf. That was my in. Yeah, it's interesting, mate. It's definitely I like the Catachan stuff. I just wish that the models I'm talking about today aren't the same ones you were probably talking about then. Flying Mammal says yes, it's interesting. Will Pintar, standard J. Yeah, pretty much. Nicholas Gardner, I've been harping on Evan and the rest of the 5th Trooper guys. I need to start filming more battle reports. They've made some great Legion battle reports. They mostly do podcasts. and they only hit on so many people's interests. I need to see a thing. Yeah, we were looking at Legion stuff the other day, weren't we, mate? Just seeing what's out there, and more is a good thing. Steve, Mrs. can hear your voice and reckons you sound like Jason Manford.
I'm not having that. Not having that. No, it must be because I'm bunged up. Maybe because I'm bunged up.
Skull Munch just put together 2 Dreadblade Harrows from a recent edition of Mortal Realms magazine. Are they the Nighthaunt Cavalry? If so, they're very nice models. Very, very nice models, actually. Steve Bonner, sorry, Jay, meant your army review that you're collecting for the campaign, i.e. your units like the old guard records. Oh, okay, yeah, get what you mean, mate. We can just drop something. We can definitely look at that, mate. Do you want to take over from Nick Gardner, mate?
Nick Gardner, Steve's Batman because he's the only one showing up in everyone else's products. Green Tree, just thought I'd say not to worry about the content at the min. We understand not only that, but I'm sure the faithful are only here for the red versus brown sauce debate. It's not debate, my friend. It's red.
There is no place for red sauce.
It's red, obviously.
Red sauce is to make kids eat food they wouldn't. Let's not go into it. That's the only place for red sauce. It doesn't belong anywhere else.
Red all day long, mate. Hey, you won't believe, because I've been looking at a lot of Chinese recipes on the cookie. Like, they use ketchup in a lot of stuff as an ingredient, like loads and loads. Actually, there's a recipe coming up that's got ketchup in it that I'm going to be making.
Mate, I can't wait.
Hashtag just saying. Check out I Can, You Can Cook, you know.
Merch stock coming soon.
That's the best stuff. Aprons, wooden spoons. Dowie says, Steve in a Catwoman lycra for what? Yes, mate. You have seen nothing. You have seen nothing unless you've seen me in lycra. Let me tell you.
Steve, there's not enough talc in the world to get you in a lycra suit, mate. Let's be real.
I was going to go back to my old saying. You know, I'm not afraid of trying it. I'm afraid of getting stuck in it. Steve says chippy sauce. These mad people with a chippy sauce. Don't know what chippy sauce is. Isn't it? What did he say it was? Gravy and vinegar or something?
Somewhat horrible like that, yeah.
Somewhat madness.
You know, two things that would just congeal if you put them together.
Yeah. Green Tree says it's a top channel you have, friendly, positive, welcoming, and above all, a good laugh. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. It's kind of what we wanted. You know, we're just idiots who play games and
community, isn't it?
Just have a bit of banter, and we just want to do it with as many people as possible. The banter, not do it. You know what I'm talking about. I've not even had a drink. I'm only on tea. Glyn says online game of Necromunda due to come out over this summer. Well, that'd be cool. I'd definitely look at that.
Well, they've done Blood Bowl now. Now they've done Shadespire. Like Necromunda reset. I saw that the other day and sent it to Matt Woods actually, and it's weird because there's not that much information about it out there yet. But yeah, they're doing a full Necromunda Under Hives computer game. I don't know if it is like Blood Bowl and Shadespire where it's a replication of the game, or whether it's like you just move your dudes around and have a fight like a normal computer game. I don't know, but yeah, I saw that the other day. I'll have to look into it. I kind of want it to be a tabletop game, but we'll see.
Yeah. Steve says, what are your top 3 games to start then? So mine is obviously 40k, even though it's kind of I don't notice how I keep getting shorter because my chair just keeps going down. Even though I've already started 40k, I still don't know how to play it fluently. Excuse me. So that's 1. Star Wars Legion is 2. And what was the other one I was thinking about the other day?
Middle Earth, maybe.
No, because I've already played that.
Oh, okay.
What to start?
You've always fancied Bolt Action, haven't you?
Yeah, Bolt Action, that was the one. Yeah, but because we had this conversation the other day. Yeah, Bolt Action, and then probably Necromunda. But yeah, what about you? If you 3 games that you don't currently play,
I play everything though, don't I? Like that's genuinely an impossible question because I've tried pretty much everything out there.
Yeah, you're a bit of a
I'm just going to give you 3 games that aren't GW that I'd recommend you go and play, which is Star Wars Legion, Song of Ice and Fire, and Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Yeah. I could have guessed those. I could have guessed those from you. Paper's Pirate, is there a thread for whips tonight? Just finished a diorama, insert for my bookshelf. There isn't tonight, my friend, but there will be on Friday on Battle Streams in Middle-earth.
Do go and post it in the top.
Yeah. Post it in the group anyway. and we'll have a look at it, my friend. Where are we? Dwalin says, I've certainly lost touch with fantasy and 40k, but would go back to fantasy if I got the time. Problem is, I'm addicted to Middle Earth SPG, and it is a good addiction to have.
It is.
I think this old world thing might stir up a few conflicts in people's
The next comment, actually.
priorities. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Rob Camp. So he says, I know it's a long way off, but I'm really looking forward to the old world. What are your thoughts on it with the little info we have at the moment? I think that's it. There's, other than them releasing the logo, we don't know anything,
Yeah, so
really.
they've showed off the old Kislev stuff, which are like the Eskimo-y dudes with the bears and stuff. And I know you say it's a long way off, right? And I'm probably wrong, but I don't think that's true. Because every time they go, oh, it's 3 or 4 years away, it's very tongue-in-cheek the way they say it. Like, it's kind of like nudge, nudge, wink, wink. This is a long way away. I don't buy it. I reckon we're going to get it in the next 12 months. I reckon.
Yeah, I don't know, especially with COVID thing as well.
Yeah, true. My kind of stance on it is, obviously you've got to remember what happened when they went from Fantasy Battle to AOS, and there was videos of like dudes burning the dwarf armies in the garden and all that lot because he had to rebase it. Like, they're not going to make you go from rounds back to squares. I think they'll do like War of the Ring style movement trays. But that's assuming that it's open to the whole of AOS. I think it's going to be very Mordheim-esque, where it's just the human factions. So do you know how there was like the Marienburgers and all the different like states of the Empire? Yeah. I think they've said it's getting new models and a new starter set. I think it's going to be like, because Horus Heresy is, well, it's not anymore, but it was Space Marines versus Space Marines. I think this is humans versus humans.
You reckon?
To start with, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I you probably know more about Warhammer Fantasy than I do, anyway. But I don't know. I just the way they talk about it, the way they talk about it, and like all these sort of, like you say, the little tongue-in-cheek thingies that, you know, and like the thing about the square bases and all that. I think it's going to be something nobody expects.
The square base is the movement tray, in my opinion.
So do you think that they're going sort of along they're trying to sort of dominate that market that is held by Mantic?
Well, it was held by them, wasn't it? And they kind of relinquished it.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Do you think they're going back to the movement tray thing, and it being each unit being like a diorama kind of thing?
You know what I think's triggered it? Games like Ice of Fire making 7 figures on Kickstarter and actually being a phenomenal game have proved there's still a place in the world for rank and flank games.
Yeah.
Kings of War as well with the new edition has done incredibly well, and like there is still like I don't think they assumed everybody would just go, all right, I'll rebase my models and I'll play AOS.
Yeah.
But I think they've definitely paid attention, and there's no, like, a company with the resources that they've got, there's no reason for them not to do this. Now, you've got to bear in mind, there's a couple of key factors. It's a specialist game, which is what makes me think it is just like Empire versus Empire, or it could be a different scale. I don't think you're going to get access to the entire AOS range, because some of it, because they're very much pushing the old, like, 5th, 6th ed fantasy battle aesthetic as well. And most of the AOS stuff now just doesn't fit.
Although I'm excited to hear about it. I was not a Warhammer Fantasy player anyway, so it's not something I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait for this. I'm interested. I'm very interested to see what happens with it. I'm more interested to see if it opens the door to a old world style skirmish like Mordheim coming back at some point in the next 3-4 years. That would be of more interest to me than the old world game. But yeah, it does look interesting, and I am excited about it. Like, I will definitely sort of keep one eye on the news and stuff like that.
Me too.
Steve says, nice bears in upcoming Fantasy Return. Yes. And Sean says, yeah, Jay, they are the Nighthawk cab, and they are awesome models and a pleasure to build. Carve them, he must mean. Dwalin says, the lore of Middle Earth that keeps me hooked. Yeah, that's the thing it's got over other games, isn't it?
We grew up on it, and it's like, if you look at the games I suggested as my 3 games to try, it was Star Wars, Game of Thrones, and Marvel superheroes. Like, there's a lot to be said about licensed games right now, because you have and a huge backstory. And it's interesting why 40k will always be the powerhouse of the gaming market, because it's got 30 years of lore on about 400 million books now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
not as much backstory as a trilogy of movies and 12 novels.
yeah.
Like, no other independent miniatures game of a new IP has got that. And that's why 40k will always be an absolute monster in our industry, because it's got so much for you to deep dive into. You can get attached to it like you can watching Star Wars or watching Game of Thrones. You know what I mean?
Plus, also, game. So when Games Workshop decided to make this game, the people who made it were fans of the books and
Yeah.
were excited by the fact that the movies were coming out, and they made a system that reflects the characters and heroes in the world of Middle Earth, and they did it very very well. Yes, obviously the first couple of incarnations had a few holes in it, but then the people who have now took over. So you've got Jay, who was a massive fan of the original game anyway, and all he's tried to do is kind of perfect it and fill those holes and make it the game that as players we've all wanted it to be over the last 10 years. And I think he's done a really good job, and I'm really excited to see the direction it's going. So yeah, the lore and the fact that it was made by fans of the lore really really shows, and I think that's why it is such a good game and the game that it is. Um, so yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Then Nick says you Brits and calling sources by colour, not by name, madness.
You know what tickles me? The fact that Americans name things in the simplest possible way. Have you ever noticed that? Trash can, because it's a can full of trash, or sidewalk, because you walk at the side of the road. And he's mocking us for red and brown sauce. What's that about? Signpost, because it's a post with a sign on it. We just
Steve says, mind they invented ketchup. Who? The Chinese? Did they? Did they invent ketchup? I'll take it. Yeah, they did. Good invention. Paper's Pirate, ketchup is only good for chips and making barbecue sauce. Clint says hashtag Team Brown Sauce. Sean says I like both, so I'm all good.
Oh, I mix both together when I've run out of brown sauce on barbecue sauce on occasion.
That's grim.
Red and brown together makes barbecue.
That's
Top
grim.
tip there.
Yeah, I don't think it does. I think it makes. I don't think
makes
it does.
Vomit.
Yeah. Steve says brown sauce and vinegar. You animals. You're calling us animals.
That's disgusting.
That is disgusting. Because in brown sauce full of vinegar anyway. You're just topping up the vinegar. You may as well have just vinegar. Adam says, idiots who play games, the TTG equivalent of in the beginning.
Hey, that's our new T-shirt. Don't spoil it.
Steve says, the online Necromunda is based off the Mordheim computer game, so the turn-based thingy.
Yes, that's actually the Mordheim computer game, Steve, is sick. And that
I've seen it. Yeah,
it's well I'm going to replay it, actually. It's on my Xbox. I got like 4 battles into a campaign and just got smashed off the table. So I need to give that a go again, actually.
I've never played it. I've seen it. It looked cool. Nick Gardner, I'm abstaining from Crisis Protocol until they add Prince Namor or the X-Men.
Yeah, my theory on the X-Men is because since they announced the game, everyone's been like, where's the X-Men? Where's the X-Men? Where's the X-Men? And it's become a meme even with Atomic Mass Games.
It's a carrot though, right? It's a carrot to dangle.
Yeah, what they're going to do is exactly like they did with Legion and the Clone Wars starter set 2 years after the game was out to kind of re-energize old players and bump the sales figures back up. That's going to be what the X-Men is, and they'll do an X-Men starter set in about 18 months, is my theory. You've got to mind, like, the game's not that old, and there's, like, considering the models come out in 1s and 2s, there's 33 models in the game now. It started with 10 with the starter set. Like, I've got it all paid. It's actually right here. Check this out. Hulk. It's so good. Oh, that way.
Yeah, Hulk's cool.
Yeah. And yeah, it's flying, but I think we've got a while before X-Men will come. But the game's great.
Yeah. Dwellin says, Old World, agree. Steve says, Kislev is Cossack.
Okay, the theme of them, yeah. I was being bad at describing it. That's fair.
Dwellin says, hate the idea of AOS. Yeah, AOS never ever, it just didn't grab me at all. I don't think it was a replacement for fantasy. I think it took a lot away from
New Beast. Like they purposely said we destroyed the old world. It wasn't just in the fluff; it was in the look and the flavor and the art style. Like They went for something new, and a lot of it is because the old world is the generic dwarf we know, and the generic Egyptian skeleton we know, and the generic elf we know, and they're not IPs that they can make money off. If you look at it now, they don't have generic dwarfs. They have like Kahadron Overlord, which are like armored pirates.
Yeah.
Or if you look at the undead, it is now like the Aussie Arch Bone Reapers, not just like skeleton warriors. They're turning everything into an IP because, like 40k, it gets loads of fluff, loads of lore, gets novels written about it. It'll become its own IP. Like look at how many computer games we've listed off tonight that have been made that they're making money off because of the characters and the factions. Like it is a whole new thing, and it was as much of a game decision as a commercial decision why they did it, is my thinking.
Yeah. Harry Bates says, "Sorry, fellas, fell asleep just before the stream. Did I miss much?" No,
Nope.
my friend. Just us waffling. The usual, just our fortnightly catch up with everybody, see what everybody's up to, and keep in touch. So you've not missed anything. We've just been chatting away. Rob Camp says, "I have to say I've played A Song of Ice and Fire a few times and have to admit it's an amazing game. I just can't afford to get into anything else at the moment."
Everyone who's played Ice and Fire is blown away by how fluid the movement is given its rank and flank. But sadly, the game came out over a year ago and there's just been monumental stock issues. And we had such a huge following for it at Element Games, which kind of I was championing a little bit and really pushing. And I stopped playing because it got to a point where everyone got that annoyed they couldn't either get the new things or legitimately buy into the game with a starter set.
Yeah.
Everyone's playing. And it's starting to get better. I don't think it will be as big a game as it could have been ever because of how long it's gone on now, but hopefully they can get it sorted and we can all get the toys, because it's really annoying that a game like that you play because you love characters and factions, and it's like, oh, you can't buy that model, so you're never going to use it in the game. Like, it's very frustrating. But yeah, it's a fantastic game. I don't know anyone yet who's played it who's not enjoyed it. It's just a shame that they didn't handle it very well when it hit retail.
Yeah. Well, it's got the TV show, it's got the books, it's got a lot of rich background to it. So, and everyone, like, I've never played it. The models are cool. The models are very cool. The models caught my eye straight away because they're a very similar scale to Middle Earth, and there's a lot of models in there that would suit certain profiles in Middle Earth, like amazingly, like mounted Rangers of the North and things like that. You could get from models from A Song of Ice and Fire. They look awesome. But I've never played it. Too many models for my liking. I would play it if someone said, "There's an army on a table. I'll give you a run through. I'd happily have a game," but I don't think I'd buy into it.
People just judge me because I bought 12 big rat models, but that's another story.
Dwellin says, "I love dwarves, but spaceships."
I love them, big bubble ships, but I like silly things. So
yeah. And James Coleman says, "Old World, 2-player box, Kislev versus Bretonians."
Exactly that. They're going to explore the human factions in it, but
maybe
we'll see in whenever. Yeah.
Yeah. Damien says, "The Maccadees across the road is getting ready to reopen. It's a glorious day. What's your Maccadees of choice, and why is the answer a large Big Mac meal with classic Coke?" So I've got a grievance here. So I was in work today. Right? And I'm currently doing this thing which is annoying me because I like to eat, but in the lockdown I've put on a bit of timber. So I've started doing this intermittent fasting. So I only eat in an 8-hour window in the day, and then 16 hours I don't eat. Luckily, part of that 16 hours is when I'm asleep. So I can only eat between 12 noon and 8 o'clock at night. After 8 o'clock at night, I don't eat anything.
What about all them stream Mars bars and
that's gone now. I've only just started doing it. That's it. That's it. Done.
Okay.
I'm not doing it no more. And apparently, it's supposed to be good for your metabolism. Apparently.
Right.
So I'm going to give it a go. I've got a bike and I've been cycling a little bit.
One thing I will say is Damien is right. A large Big Mac meal with a Coke is the right thing to order. But
no, Big Tasty, mate. Big Tasty bacon.
None of the Manchester ones open today. They're all tomorrow.
No, no. This is what I was going to get onto. This is what I was going to vent about. So I was in work today, and I have to drop my brother off home before I come home, and then on my way home, I pass the McDonald's in Bagley. Right.
Oh, I know you. Yeah.
Now I thought there was an accident. I was stuck in traffic. I thought this must be bad because the traffic is not moving. What is going on? And it took me about an hour to get what normally takes me about 4 minutes. And when I got there, it's because people were queuing to get in McDonald's. And then there's
Yeah,
a
2 hour
McDonald's.
queue.
There's a McDonald's near me in the retail park at the back. There's queuing right Washway Road. Washway Road, the A56. If you're not from Manchester, is probably one of the busiest roads. Like, it's a nightmare at the best of times. McDonald's reopen. It's like the world has stopped. It's like people think if they don't get McDonald's today, they're never ever going to be able to get McDonald's
We
again.
were all like 2 hour queues. I've promised the one near me opens tomorrow, and luckily they're doing like Uber Eats delivery, so I'm getting it sent to my house. And I've promised to go on. But yeah, like I was reading loads of things about people queuing for 2 hours, and yeah, man, if it's your home comfort, do it. But mental, isn't it?
I would not
Mental.
queue. I would not queue for 2 hours for any burger in the world. What I'd do is I'd go on I can you can cook Facebook groups. If anyone's got a
Oh god.
decent decent recipe for a homemade
More than one
burger.
stream that I wish he did leave himself muted. He got it right. Unbelievable.
But no, my favourite McDonald's is Big Tasty with bacon, but it's not always on. It's like a seasonal thing, isn't it? So choice would be a Big Mac meal with Coke. Yeah,
Yeah.
Big Mac. But the Mega Mac, or what they called? What is it? Mega Mac, not Mega Mac. What do they call them?
The Grand Mac.
The
Or something.
Grande, the Grande Mac. Yeah,
Hey.
they were pretty good. They were pretty
Do you
good.
know what? I love 2 double cheeseburgers.
Double cheeseburgers are mint. Yeah, I go with
Like
that.
quarter pounders can be a bit ropey sometimes. Double cheeseburger is the burger from McDonald's.
Quarter pounder used to be my go-to McDonald's burger. That used to be it. That was it. Quarter pounder with cheese because I like the onions on it. It's like proper onions on it. Whereas on a Big Mac, it's the little tiny diced onions, which I still like, but I prefer a crunch.
I think the Big Tasty is the best,
Yeah,
but it's
Big
not always on
Tasties, but obviously without tomato, right?
it. What about cucumber? Where do you stand on
Don't
cucumber?
get me started on cucumber. There's a reason cats are afraid of cucumbers, man. Google it. Google it. They've got a sixth sense. Cucumbers are wrong.
Right, carry on in the chat. Come on.
Green Tree says, "Here's a question: Has anyone ever had anything actually hot from McDonald's?" Yes.
Mine's legit. I get it. Like
Yes.
I get mine delivered, to be honest, a lot of the time, and it comes piping hot. It's pretty
Yeah.
good actually.
Doesn't stay hot for long. I'll give you that. Like
You gotta get
if
it
you've
down
got
quick.
if you've got a big tasty or a grande Big Mac and you decide to eat half of that first before you tuck into your chips are going to be cold. Yeah, that's a given.
Got to figure out whether it's chips or burger that you want to enjoy, haven't you?
um, yeah, he agrees with the Big Mac. Owen Carmichael, reset the clock. X-Men.
Yeah, because someone brought up an X-Men for Marvel. That's kind of a meme at the moment.
Steve says, "Damn, Legion is over 2 years old. Crappy FFG release schedule again." Nick Gardner, I can't have half a sleeve tattoo of Gambit and not demand the X-Men in a Marvel minis game.
Gambit's my favourite character. Have you seen that Channing Tatum pulled out playing him in the
Yeah, I
movie?
was going to say, aren't they doing something with the movie? What's happening with that now?
He's pulled out or been fired or something, so I think they're looking for a new lead character now. I
Right.
was looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, there was loads of stuff about is Ben Affleck refilming some scenes for the Snyder cut of Batman v Superman or whatever it is.
I choose not to read any of that stuff. Like a lot of those nerd articles that are like, let's moan about a movie because it's cool to moan about nerddom right now, just does my head in. I
Yeah.
enjoyed Justice League. I enjoyed Batman versus Superman. You
Yeah.
just got to take it for what it is. I don't read them articles.
So you know this Snyder cut thing.
Yeah.
It's the same film, right? But is it just sort of
Yeah,
edited in a different way with added scenes?
exactly.
Right.
Take
Okay.
all the footage and re-edit it and restylize it, different music. Yeah,
Right.
just be given access to the footage and you can do whatever's with it. But yeah,
Fair
those
enough.
sort of like annoy me because people just like to moan.
Yeah.
We are well behind and we've got 5 minutes, but we can run a bit late, so you might want to get speed mode.
Right, okay, I'll pull my finger out. Paintbrush Pirate says some friends have just bought Legion and A Song of Ice and Fire. I'm looking forward to trying both out. Let us know how you get on.
Enjoy it.
Nick says, I don't understand how people complain about FFG's Legion or X-Wing releases. We get stuff almost every month. Must be because I play SBG.
I think
I'm
people
not
over here
so demanded.
complain because for the last 6 months they've not turned up or not been reliable. We've had stock issues over here, but I do get your point.
Yeah. Glenn says, hashtag we miss TTG Lee.
He's now Tabletop Magpie Lee, isn't
Yeah,
he?
Tabletop Magpie Lee is now.
He's running a solo adventure. Everyone.
He didn't pay his subscription on the TTG thingy at the beginning of his name, so we had to take it off him.
That's it. Yeah.
He missed one payment, and that was it. He missed the payment. Harry Bates, is there anything you fellows really want on a future made to order? Mounted Isildur or Vanquishers of the Mounted Isildur or Vanquishers of the Necromancer for me, says Harry. Do you know what? I'm I don't know whether it's just me and I'm weird because I read a lot of people in like on the Great British Hobbit League and some people in our group as well are going, oh, I want this, I want that. I'm kind of happy just to sit back and just let things happen like organically and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to say, I'd say Thorongil because I think that's the way we'll get it when it ever happens.
But that won't be a made to order, will it? Like a made to order
Might be.
stuff that I think he means like stuff that and is no longer available, has never been
Yeah,
not
but
not.
if they do it made to order, it's a one and done run, isn't it? Kind of thing. The other one is, and I think it's been done before, but Knight of Aphelion Fire Mages because I keep failing to get one.
Oh, Captain of Athelion.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, nothing really. I mean, I'm in a. I've got pretty much everything. There's only
You've
one.
got everything for SPG, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Not
not much
much
I've not
trouble.
got. George Harold, echoing what Jay said, the game mechanics of A Song of Ice and Fire are fantastic,
They are.
and it's a very intuitive game, very easy to pick up.
Yes.
Steve says, more they only make so few that getting hold of any of it months after can be impossible, or like 40k Primaris, so slow to release, the better options that you have to wait 4+ years to get half a release.
Mm.
What's that mean?
Talking about Legion and
Oh, right.
X.
George said, my only gripe is that the game favors high activation armies too much, and therefore attachments are generally not worth it.
Interesting. That's a good point. But now there's some like there's a new Targaryen one which adds a section to the tactics board, and Walder Frey are like 5-point attachments.
Hmm.
But they're kind of like game changing. You can't not take them. So they definitely are aware of that and they're fixing it. And they've been changing a lot of the cheap spam units like Night's Watch conscripts and stuff like that. But it
Yeah.
is a valid point for where the game was at.
Yeah. Nick Garner says, I'll always remember being at Nova and going to McDonald's with Damien, and he's talking about American portions compared to British. Yeah, I'm assuming like American portions are quite big, quite known for it. Do you remember we used to get super size? We had it for about 2 years at McDonald's. You could
Yeah, you should get a massive
super
drink.
size. You got a bucket of Coke and like just like loads of fries, and your fries were definitely you couldn't eat all of your fries. Going off what Green Tree said,
That bloke ruined
while
it
they were
with his
hot.
movie, didn't he?
Yeah, but yeah, super size me. But yeah, supersized. I supersized a couple of times. It just
Mm.
unless they supersize your burger though, it don't make that much difference. You're just getting like extra stodge, aren't you? George says, and echoing Steve too, intermittent fasting is great. I've been doing it for around 6 months. I'd highly recommend it. Makes you have a proper appreciation for food. I don't need to fast to have a proper appreciation for food though, man.
You know what was weird? I intermittent fast by accident because I can't eat until 1 in the afternoon. It makes me throw up,
Right?
and I've always been like that. Like unless I've got an hangover, I can't eat before lunch. So I tend to do
Mm.
it by just accident. It's not
Yeah.
working. I tend to do
Mm.
it.
Well, I had it in my head that it was unhealthy to skip breakfast. So I'd always, even sometimes if I was running late, I'd make sure that I had either a piece of toast
You
or a
say these
bowl
days,
of cereal.
food's food and it's calorie intake. That's it, and
Mm,
it's all about nutrients and calories. They even say that all the myths about what time of day you eat aren't true now. Like,
no. Well, that's what it is. Like that's what this thing is. So you get like a window, and I've watched a few videos online and read a few articles online about it, and a lot of it makes sense. What they're saying, like that's a different.
ties in with the keto I did when I had the diabetes at the start of the year, and I dropped like 2 or 3 stone because it's all
Mm,
about training your body to burn fat for energy rather than
yeah.
the rubbish you put in it. But it's
Yeah, yeah. The main part of it is that for 16 hours, if you don't eat, that them 16 hours are when your body is burning the fat that
yeah,
you've ate the 8 hours previous. But if you're
yeah,
constantly just eating and you're not having that break, your body never gets chance to break the fat down properly, and because you keep grazing and eating and anyway, we're not that kind of channel, so but yeah,
no.
intermittent fasting, go
But
for it.
yeah, Steve's going to launch a YouTube channel next week. I can, you can't,
So,
intermittent
tomorrow,
fast.
tomorrow, tomorrow it is,
Oh,
mate.
yeah.
Tomorrow. Damien says, I grew up on fantasy and adore the old world. I haven't really played fantasy since 2001 ish, but I was still sad to see it go. So, whilst I won't play it, I'm excited to see whatever they come with. Yeah, I think Games Workshop are that good now at what they do. Even if it's a game that you have no intention of playing, I think most people are generally interested in what they're doing and what they're bringing out because it's just cool. And the models that they're bringing out at the minute are cool. I have no interest in Age of Sigmar, but the models that come out are amazing models. They're just so good. I can appreciate that definitely. He also says, I actually picked up the Digital End Times book bundle they released a few weeks ago, Rude Not To, for £30, as I thought it would be fun to dip back into the old law and catch up. That was until I realised it was 5,000 pages long.
People don't realize how much stuff they write, and like, God, there's like most weeks there's a Black Library book for something stealthing out with the new releases. Like they're putting out over 50 books a year. There's so much of it now. It's insane.
It's crazy. And he says he's only on page 6. Rob Camp says, yes, big tasty, no tomato is my go-to. Yeah, bin that tomato. Just makes your burger soggy. It's just like this massive big beef tomato. Sling it.
Yeah, they always go overkill on the lettuce as well. You don't
Sling
need
it.
that much.
If they oiled the bun lid before they put it on top, it
Have
would.
you ever? I know we're trying to catch up here, but have you ever watched one of those videos about how they take photos of food?
Yes.
Oh man, it's fascinating. It's gross, but it's fascinating.
Yeah. Burgers have slices of cardboard in to stop them. That's why they look bigger.
And they paint them. Like they legit paint them and put everything in place and that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's grim. Cucumbers at McDonald's. I don't think that's even legal in the States. No, we haven't got cucumbers here unless you get a salad bag. But he's referring to the fact I cannot stand cucumber. The smell knocks me sick. And I made Anna a cucumber salad with a dinner the other day because obviously I was after something. But anyway.
I'll tell the story about the time we went out for food and there was a cucumber on your plate.
No.
Okay. Carry on then.
Glenn says, I fast one day every week since lockdown started, lost over £14. I could not eat for a day. Could not. So the thing is with me, I don't want to do a diet or a fast or something that I'm not going to enjoy. So that's why I could never diet. I could never say I can't have that. So I'm still eating normally. Like I'm just having normal meals. So I'm having lunch and dinner, and I'm trying not. I've cut out all the snacks. I'm not going to do it forever. I'm just going to do it, try and be a little bit healthier. That's all. Adam G says 1 page at a time. He says that at Damien. And Nick says allegedly the Snyder Cut isn't going to involve filming any scenes with actors as the contracts have expired.
Yeah, I think it's just reusing all the stock footage they have that might not have been used.
Yeah. And Adam says, as a performer, one of my mantras has always been never listen to a critic. Very true. Very true. Green Tree, good night all. Early start tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Good night, man. I won't be far behind you. I'm absolutely shattered. And Dean says, thanks for the company again, chaps. Managed to get all my Don Harrow bases done for tonight. Good stuff. Make sure you let us see. Glenn says goodbye to Green Tree. And Nick Garner says, I try not to make demands for made to order, as it's easy to forget something you'd want or not know you wanted something until it's released. Very true.
Yeah.
Very
You've
true.
got to take it as a bonus.
Yeah. James Coleman, stock issues was always a pain for Imperial Assault 2, which was a shame as it's a great game. FFG, once again, limited print runs, then months for a restock. Glyn says, thanks for the natter tonight. I'll see you lot in I Can, You Can Cook. Yes, man. I'll see you later, buddy. Rob says goodbye to Glyn. Dean says he's off. Catch us on the next one. Looking forward to seeing everyone's dinners for the rest of the week. Steve says, see you guys in the bar. Rob says, right, gents, it's 1 a.m. here, time for bed. Really glad I stayed up for the stream. Hope I can catch a few more before I need to get back to work proper. Take it easy and stay safe. Much love. Big love, man. And yeah, stay safe yourself, brother.
Hi, buddy.
Harry Bates, I'm painting the Fellowship at the moment, and I'm scared of doing eyes. They all look great, but it looks like they're fighting with their eyes closed. Just do a black line across, and then two white dots on that black line.
Yeah, they say you should do it in reverse rather than trying to paint the white and then the black. Do the black and the white.
Do a black line or like a really dark brown. Sometimes looks good. Just across, and then 2 white lines, 2 white dots on that line.
There'll be loads of tutorials on YouTube.
Yeah. Right? Practice, man. Get some of them sexy glasses that I've got, and it's a doddle. Damien says, you know what doesn't have tomato in it, Steve? A large Big Mac meal with classic Coke. Very true. Very true. Has gherkins on it though, like.
Oh, mate, gherkins are the best.
No, I pick mine off and sling them.
Oh,
mate,
no.
I don't know what they're there for, man. I just don't know. I don't know. Dwelling says, great chat, guys. Take care, brother. And Glyn says, you too, Rob. So I have finally reached the bottom of the chat. It has been very busy in the chat tonight. Very busy.
Good.
Yes.
Nice. That's the purpose of it, isn't it? So we can chat to everyone and just spitball ideas and stuff. That's why we do it.
Yes. Yes. It's been fun. I've missed it. Like I said, I was hammering it for a bit because I had loads of time on my hands and it was great. I loved it. So I've missed it. I've had like a couple of weeks off, not done anything. So yeah, that'll be it from us. I think I'll be on with Damien on the GBHL on Friday.
Wicked.
When are we back on? We got anything planned?
I've got a video I'm releasing this weekend, but in terms of live streams, unless we decide to break out the top table arms, it'll be 2 weeks today.
Yeah. So yeah. I've got an unboxing video which me and you spoke about, Jay, to do.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
I'll get that done and probably out this weekend. And also I've got a video on similar to the one that Jay did, basically just nicking his ideas, if I'm honest. My top 5 sort of things that I have, that my hobby gadgets that I can't live without.
Mine are kind of things I'd like to see in the new edition of 40k. I've got some ideas around that, and hobby vlog too, because I've painted. It's been a month and I've painted 4 million models. And like the longer I put off the hobby vlog, the longer the video is going to be by the rate I'm painting. So I'm going to show you. I think it's over 200 models in a month on hobby vlog too. So I'll be getting both of those filmed at the end of the week. So we have got some content coming.
Yeah, there is some coming. I didn't want it to come across negative what we were saying before, because we're dying to get some content done. We just would rather it had a bit of an oomph to it, if you know what I mean, rather than just 100%. Putting out, because the live streams are great. Like we can put live streams out and just talk nonsense whenever. But if it's a pre-recorded something,
we might even have a lock-in and open the top table arms again. We don't know, do we?
Yeah, it will happen. It will happen, but we'll work out a time and date, and I'll see if I can fire up that karaoke machine with all them people singing on it. That'd be cool.
I think that's a good time to wrap up, don't you, mate?
Yeah, let's call it.
Thanks for tuning in. Episode 36 of Top Table Live. We'll have plenty coming, but you will see this again in 2 weeks. As always, make sure you're over on the Top Table Gaming community page, and I will see you later.
Bye-bye. Take care.